Hi everyone, it's Alexis, and here are 4 super easy, beginner-friendly bracelets that literally anybody could do. Elastic beaded bracelets. These are super fun types of bracelets that are commonly made in elementary schools, for concerts, or as friendship bracelets. To make these, all you need is string and some type of bead or charms. There are different types of strings and different types of bead and charm sizes and styles. To keep it simple, I just say choose whatever you like, whatever fits your aesthetic, and whatever you can maintain without it loosening up too fast or breaking easily. You can also tie these in a number of ways, but one of the most common ways would be knots and glue. I personally recommend an all-purpose type of glue. There is jewelry adhesive glue, which is okay, but I don't think they are the most beginner friendly. And I say that because sometimes people don't know the proportion of glue for the type of string you have. You can have too much glue, and when it dries, it may coat the knot in like crust and all that, but not actually secure the knot. It's something that you just have to figure out through trial and error, but I think an all-purpose glue is best because it's not as heavy, but it'll definitely hold. I'll probably explain that in a future video, but one thing I recommend would be tacky glue, which is very, very affordable. You can find them at Dollar Tree actually. Another super easy bracelet to make are macrame bracelets. To make these, again, you need to figure out what type of material you like and what works best for you. You can use yarn, embroidery floss, nylon cord, really anything. It's pretty easy to make this pick as you can see the difference in the textures. I personally recommend going in person and actually like seeing it with your own eyes. Some things are a little bit more soft, like you can get yarn that's really soft. Some things are better for any type of condition, like let's say you're outdoors a lot. You may not want something like yarn. You may want something that's a little bit more firm, kind of stiff, like cord or whatever. So definitely like look and see what works best for you. I would say the hardest part is determining the size of your cording. Again, go in person. But if you like it really, really thick, plan that. See it in person, see how that would look. But some people, they like stuff really, really thin. Definitely look up your style. You can find that on Pinterest, Instagram. If you want like a more thin bracelet, if you want one that's more thick. Besides that, I would say that's still the easy part, just picking your materials. And there are also different ways to end the bracelet. So most people, they tie the ends. I actually do not. I use crimp ends. So funny, I'm a jewelry maker, but I have never learned how to do the tie ends. It is rocket science to me. I know I'm gonna be judged, but like I don't get it, girl. I don't, and I can admit that. But I feel like tie ends, definitely watch a couple YouTube videos to figure it out. To me, again, it's rocket science, but you don't have to worry about getting those extra supplies. But for crimp ends, those are just you can get them in silver, gold, antique, whatever. End pieces, you clamp it onto the end of your material, and then you add your jump rings, and then boom, you just connect it easily. But some people don't like them for whatever reason. It just depends. Know what works best for you, what look do you like more, and what's easy for you. Now, I can't do tie-ins, so I can't help you on that. But if you ever want to learn how to do crimp ends, I can maybe make a video about that one day. If you do want to do the crimp ends, I will say you also need glue for this as well. Again, I do recommend an all-purpose glue. Tacky glue, again, is a good one. So when you are working with the glue and the crimp ends, you just need a little bit, really just like a drop, and that'll be enough to completely cover your crimp end. Lastly, I recommend starting with very beginner-friendly patterns, candy stripe, which I may also refer to as a diagonal, a chevron, and then of course your spiral or ladder bracelet type of patterns. Those are the core of macrame bracelet making patterns. I would not recommend going to any other patterns, especially the alpha patterns, until you've pretty much mastered your basics. Once you've mastered those and you want to branch off into the really cute ones, definitely watch a couple YouTube videos. They're not as simple as they look when you first start, but once you get into it, it becomes easier over time. Another bracelet that's really easy to make are chain link bracelets. Chain link bracelets are actually very straightforward to make. Again, this is something that I recommend going in person and looking at, because the hardest part for these really would be figuring out the sizing. You need to look in person. I like pretty standard chain links, ones that are pretty typical for the costume jewelry you'll see in like the store. Some people like very, very thin chains. Some people like very thick chains. I personally don't like either of those. So really, as a jewelry maker, you'll start to understand millimeter sizes very quickly. Once you figure that part out and determine other like fun stuff, like what color do you like, silver, do you like gold, do you like stuff that's like not really typical colors but still pretty fun, like bronze or rose gold, whatever the case may be. Once you figured all of that out, you've pretty much done the hard part. Now, the fun part really is just adding the charms, and you can also add beads, but that's kind of complicated. Most people like to use charms, so figure out what charms you like. I do recommend having charms that kind of match. It is kind of awkward to have like mixed match silver and gold, but you can pull it off. But definitely get something that fits. You can have a lot of charms, you can have a few charms. It really just depends on what you like and what you're gonna commit to wearing. And really after that, all you need are pliers and jump rings, and you can easily make your chain link bracelets. The last kind of bracelets I recommend are loom bracelets. These are by far the most affordable hobby bracelets you can make. It's very, 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 very cheap. You can get a pretty okay pack of loom bands, clips and everything for, see if it's on sale, like $3. If it's a little bit more costly, it might be like $6. But for the most part, it's very, very, very much of a low commitment in terms of cost. Another reason I really love loom bracelets is that it is air friendly. When you have other types of bracelets, if you mess up, it's very hard to undo that. But with loom bracelets, you can literally just pop them off without breaking it. After that, I would say really pick your style. I would always recommend starting with the single knot style and then go to the fishtail style, and then there are other crazy styles like chevron and all that. I personally don't do those alpha patterns, but there's a style that I also do that people love called the pony bead bracelet style. It's when you pretty much weave the pony beads into the single knot style. But again, I recommend doing single knot just to learn how loom bracelets work and how to use your equipment. Fishtail is definitely a bit more complicated than single knot, but once you've had a few hours to just like play with it, it becomes super, super easy and just kind of like very quick to have that muscle memory. And again, I don't really recommend the chevrons or the alphas until you've pretty much mastered the single knot fishtail. And those are 4 super easy, beginner-friendly bracelets that anyone of any skill level can make. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And if you guys have any more questions for me, jewelry, craft, or small business related, definitely leave in the comments below. That being said, bye.